We are live. Hello, everyone who's watching with us live, and thank you for watching us on the replay if you're just joining us. And thanks for everyone who's already said hello. Okay, so tonight, who picks a Friday night to go live and talk about financing? We do. Okay, so get your beverage. And if you're
Hello, Sancho.
and if you're watching this on the replay,
Hello, Mike McIsaac.
hit the wheel.
Am I interrupting
Yes, hit the wheel and do the playback speed at 1.5 so you can get through this if you are short on time because you're running your business.
She has already kicked me under the table.
I know.
Hello, Islander.
I think
Hello, SVJ Moving.
That's not Mohammed. Is that Mohammed?
Hello, Gib. GIB Gib.
And Mike, look at Mike with us live.
I'm talking very quietly because I've had a lot of time on my hands for the last 30 days where I've been relaxing and recuperating from 2 years of madness.
Oh my gosh, this is so nice. We actually didn't think anybody would be here with us tonight.
Hello, Melissa. You're funny too, Melissa. We think you're funny.
So
I haven't even heard you tell a joke yet, but I think you're funny. Am I hogging the mic?
Yes. Okay, so she's
kicked me under the table twice.
Let's just do the rundown of what is going to be happening tonight and what we're going to be talking about. The main thing, but won't be the first thing, okay, is the federal government is making $10 billion available for U.S. small businesses. So we're going to share with you how to get that, what it means, what you have to do, how to get it, and all of that. So you're going to want to hang out with us for that. I know that's going to be the entree, but let's just start with the basket of bread and some appetizers, which is basically going to be some housekeeping on the EIDL loan. And
wait, there's appetizers? We just ate dinner.
It was a metaphor. It was a metaphor. Stay with me. Okay. Stay with me. Okay. So we're going to talk about some of the EIDL housekeeping, EIDL forgiven or not. We're going to talk about some PPP forgiveness, tips for you to handle that part of what you need to do. Because if the banks haven't been hounding you yet, that is going to be happening, that you're going to need to attend to that if you do not want to pay back that loan at extremely high interest rates. So, okay. And
Kim Williams.
And then Kim, thank you for your donation. You guys, we have a thanks button, and Kim is our first person to have clicked the thanks button on our most recent uploaded video and gave us a donation. Kim, you are awesome. So awesome. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about some resources we have available if you're still battling with switching your bank with the SBA and the EIDL loan that you were approved on. Am I leaving anything out? There's so much.
I don't know. I'm not really listening to you. I'm busy waving and saying hi to everybody.
So that's what I usually do, and you make fun of me.
I don't really get out of the house. I don't really talk to people. So y'all who I talked to, I mean, I went and got a haircut today. So I talked to, they threw me out because they were like, okay, Trevor, we finished cutting your hair 2 hours ago. Stop walking around talking to everybody.
Oh God. Okay. All right. So let's start with, should we just pick and choose? I'm going to pick and choose because let's get to what everyone really needs to understand. And that is that your EIDL payments are coming due. You look like a bug. You legit look like a fly. Okay. Now cut it out. We got to get into this. People, they don't have time to hear us ranting. And actually you are so out of practice. I don't know if you guys saw the video we just uploaded yesterday. 248 people saw it, which is amazing. But, it's about how to apply for a business loan and an application process 101. And barely anybody is watching this video, which is kind of key for if you need more financing and can't get it through the SBA.
$5.
Thank you, Mike. You're amazing. Thank you.
I'm going to be in Manhattan next week, Mike. I'm going to take you $5. I'm going to walk up to a hot dog cart in the corner of 53rd Street and go, give me 2 dirty water dogs with onions and mustard and kraut, $5.
Okay. So Trevor, can we seriously?
Aww.
I know.
Zeke.
I know. Zeke is so awesome. Can we get back down to business? And
tell me what you want to talk about. The
EIDL
brain is
payments.
filled with junk ready to escape.
Can we just shed some light on the whole paying back the loan, because it's coming due? If you got your loan in March, April, May, June, it's happening in the this year.
Official Trevor voice.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the official Trevor voice to arrive.
No, you are the official Trevor voice.
Oh, okay. So we've been warning our clients for a couple of months. Hey, you know, the original loan you got back in either March, April, May, June, or July of 2020, that's the day the clock started running, the day you signed that closing document. A lot of people think that the date started when they got their increase approved, if they got an increase approval. It did not. It started all the way back when you got the original loan.
If you knew this, type in "I knew this" in the comments, because we want to see those that have been paying attention to our videos for the last 18 months. If you are in the know, raise your hand or do the little hand emoji.
Although I would guess that if you're not in the know, that's why you're here on the show, so you can get in the
there's
know
other things
from the show. See what I did there?
No, there's going to be other things to get in the know about, but the loan starting to make payments, we've been talking about that for months. I knew. Sancho knew.
Sancho knew. Of course he did. Oh, Sancho, I think you're talking about the PPP. Okay, so we're going to come back to that. But because the EIDL cannot be forgiven at this time. And I'm going to reiterate my previous opinion on what the Congress might do. But let's talk about upcoming payments. The original payments were started 12 months, then they changed to 24 months, and now it's 30 months from the date of origination of the loan. That means the date. So go and dig up your EIDL loan authorization agreement, otherwise known as the EIDL LAA, and look at the date that you DocuSign that form and add 30 months to that, and that's the date you will begin payments. We recommend that people set up automatic payments on PAY.GOV, which is the official government website to make payments on government obligations, PAY.GOV. Keep in mind that the SBA already has your banking information, and I believe they may attempt to initiate an ACH withdrawal. I'm not sure, when I was in banking, wasn't involved in that part of banking. So I'm not sure how that works if a creditor can initiate that, but they do have your voided check. Wait, you don't like the sunglasses?
Those are my sunglasses.
I bought these for you.
You're wearing
this was a Christmas present.
Chic glasses, but okay.
I'm getting ready for the beach. This is how I get ready for the beach. So I don't know if automatic. Hey, Kim! Oh my gosh. You and Mike are going to be buying me a lot of hot dogs and pizza while I'm walking around Manhattan next week.
Now, mute. No,
we have sound.
We have sound.
Thrizzle says now you're good. Thank you, Thrizzle.
All right.
By the way, Thrizzle, I'm just going to tell you, I freaking love that name.
I know.
I may steal that name for myself, Trevor Thrizzle.
That actually sounds pretty good.
It kind of goes with the glasses, don't you think? It goes with the glasses.
Yeah.
Trevor, Thrizzle Trevor. So.
Oh God, I don't know what to do. We recorded video before and it was fine. I don't know.
No, it says it's good. Thrizzle says it's good. Zeke says it's perfect now.
Okay, good. Maybe
Kim Williams used my favorite word after Linda Ray, which is pizza.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe Daisy, it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All righty. So let's go back.
Hey, Stan.
EIDL loan agreement. Read it, or better yet, purchase our blueprint, our post-closing blueprint.
You knew we were going to sell something, right?
Because and we've set it at a reasonable price, because I created that guidebook to show you. I basically summarized your obligations.
Yeah. Everything.
For payments and for record keeping.
And for utilization.
But let's talk about record keeping, because you need to be keeping records, because the SBA is a federal agency, and as per the terms of your loan agreement, they can request your documents at any time to prove how you used the money. And in fact, I read about a case the other day in Florida, a roofing contractor who used PPP money. We hear a lot of the PPP fraud, and possibly used EIDL money also to buy a yacht and real estate and things like that. Clearly, this is not allowed. So, we've given that, but more importantly is your obligations. This is a 30-year loan, and the SBA requires you to keep records on how you have spent the money. And it's been a while since I've read it, but I believe up to 6 years after you got the loan, they can come to you and say, hey, send us some paperwork. Also, little known fact, buried in the EIDL loan agreement.
Click on that.
Yeah, click on this.
And read that article.
Is that the guy, Fort Myers guy? Buried in the EIDL loan agreement is a requirement that you submit every year on your own. Jesus, hello. Your financial statements, which means, a year-to-date profit and loss statement, cash and balance sheet, and a tax return. We don't know how if the SBA is going to be enforcing this stuff, but
I need you guys to put into the comments if you have read your loan agreement. Just put read, 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 that you read the loan agreement. I want you guys to really be thinking about what we're saying. We're not coming on here just to have Trevor wear my sunglasses. And, we really want you to take away some extremely critical fundamentals of your responsibility with the loan.
I can't read the comments.
Okay. So,
all right, let me just hit a couple of quick comments. Colleen, if you have a question, we will do some question and answers as we always do. And just be very specific in your question. So when you say, Colleen, what do I need to do? Please tell me what it is you're referring to. Edgar and Anna. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, Stan, we're very rested. We've had 30 days to try to recoup from the stress. We've lost about 10 pounds already. So this is good. We've been able to get outside and do some things.
So Zeke, thank you for this suggestion, because actually we are working on this. And someone earlier in the show was asking, they were excited to hear about our new venture.
Yes.
And I don't see that comment here.
It was one of the first comments. Oh, Mike McIsaac.
So that's where we're going next, is content creation. And there's going to be a whole slew of stuff that I'm creating, including how to apply for financing. Now, we did a video this week on application fundamentals, which we wanted to tie it into tonight's show, because tonight we're going to talk about a program that you need to be aware of, that you need to apply for. And so we're going to come to that a little later in the show. Do we still call this a show?
We still call it a show.
Hold on. This is why we get to call it a show. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah. By the way, you guys, if you're so inclined, and again, I highly recommend that you hit the little wheel on the bottom of the video, and not for live, but when you're watching other videos, and especially our videos, put it on 1.5 playback speed. It's not too fast. You're still going to be able to understand it, and you're going to cut down the time that you have to spend.
But also, if you put it on 1.75, I sound like this, so I can do it really fast.
But seriously, it's long. So it's like 8 minutes to watch this, how to apply for a business loan. This is Takeaway EIDL. And a lot of you that are here have been with us for many, many months, because you hired us. So we appreciate that. But
many of you buying me pizza and hot dogs. This
is coming from, just as a business owner, what you need to know as a business owner who might be having a loan, getting another loan, just how to organize everything.
Oh, we got a pile of stuff we're going to create and send out to you folks, so that we can help you to be more sensible about your business. And we're calling it our Simple Sense series of products. So there's going to be everything. In fact, we're going to touch on one of those concepts tonight about hiring, because we imagine that hiring folks is difficult, especially something that the gal who does my hair today, and actually she did my beard too, told me something very distressing about when she worked for a salon and they switched her from W-2 at 10 to 1099 without her knowing about it. So we're going to touch on that a little later. But
I want
do you want to answer Colleen's
I want to
question?
answer Colleen. Colleen, thanks for being here. I think you're a first-time viewer, so we're really happy you found us. I'm going to put a link in the comments to a video that we did on when you switch banks. But the main part, the video is only a couple minutes, but in the description, there are other links for you to follow. We just released a new blueprint on how to switch, the steps to go through to switch the bank info with the SBA and 3 methods. But first, I'm going to let you, since you're here first time, dip your toe into the video with that free information. For the longest time, we didn't really have, as you all know, we had crappy information from SBA, a whole slew of items. And one of those was what Colleen's problem is. If I was approved for an EIDL, but banking information was incorrectly inputted, or I changed my bank, or the bank returned the funds, what was the recourse? Well, we did find out, we got access to the team that actually handles that. And because one of our clients who was approved just before May 16th had changed his bank account, and we had sent in that information on the increase request. But of course, being SBA, they screwed it up, So he didn't get his deposit. And so we prepared this product. But Colleen, go to the video first, and you'll see. Jason, can you hear us, or can you type in the comments if you hear us? Because we did have an issue, and then we fixed it, and people said they could hear us. Okay. All right. Okay. But we're back, and we're not muted, and it's still crackling, but we're going to power through this. All right. I want to talk about the possibilities of getting still approved for an EIDL. Okay. First of all, hey, Petro, if you were approved prior to May 16th of this year, prior to May 16th, 2022, the SBA has stated unequivocally in front of Congress that if your loan, any EIDL, COVID-19 EIDL that was approved prior to May 16, 2022, the money is allocated. If you have not received the monies yet, certainly you want to call the SBA and say, where's my money? And when we say approved, to be crystal clear what it means to be approved, it means you docu-signed a modification loan agreement, which looks exactly like the original loan agreement that you signed in 2020, but it has an additional date, has the current date that you would. So if you were approved, let's say on April 15th, 2022, it'll have the original date, say June 3rd, 2020, and right comma, April 15th, 2020. It has 2 dates, and it has the new loan amount and the new payment, monthly payment. So if you docu-signed that second loan approval modification form, then you should have received the money. Now, we also believe there were loans that were approved in the SBA queue prior to May 16th that the people did not, in the week or 2 weeks right after that, did not immediately receive the DocuSign loan agreement. As you know, SBA closed the portal. So typically you would have logged into the portal to sign the loan agreement. Well, you weren't able to do that. So a lot of people were panicking on one of our last shows before May 16th saying, oh my God, well, if I'm approved, but how am I going to get the loan agreement? Well, the SBA will email it to you, or we even had clients that received it in U.S. Postal Service, regular mail, or what we used to call snail mail. So the SBA has told the Congress of the United States, yes, loans were approved prior to May 16th and the monies are allocated. Now, if you changed your bank account, or if there's some issue with your bank changing names, with a lot of banking mergers in the last 2 years, smaller banks being purchased by bigger banks merging with other bigger banks, et cetera, banks changing names, all kinds of nonsense like that. And don't even get me started about credit unions and how horrible they are in terms of their electronic verifications with the SBA just to verify your bank account, because it's a standard practice to verify and before sending the ACH deposit of your funds. So if you have those banking issues, again,
watch the video that Linda posted earlier for Colleen, but also we created a product for that, and Linda will put up the link. Now, what about the remaining applications that were not approved? So I'm just going to give you my reading of what's happening between the Congress and the SBA, and especially the SBA's Office of Inspector General in just the last 2 weeks. And essentially what has happened is, as you probably know, the SBA's Office of Inspector General, or what's called the OIG, which is their job is to police the SBA, if you will, for inefficiencies and fraud and things of that nature. And this guy, who I forget what he's got a strange name, the OIG, he makes a lot of assertions about the program, which clearly demonstrates that he and his team don't understand how a lot of you all actually run your businesses, including misclassifications of workers that they perceived as fraud in the PPP program, et cetera. I can go on and on. But bottom line is, in the last 2 weeks, what we're seeing is talk in Congress and in the finance committees about these people who committed fraud and recouping the money, like going back to these people and seizing the assets, and the United States government gets reimbursed for the stolen funds. They're saying a substantial amount, in the billions, potentially stolen. So what happens with that money when it comes back to the U.S. Treasury? Well, we can hope that money will be reallocated to all of you who were not approved as of May 16th. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program is still active for natural disasters. We are working on one right now for flood damage on a retail store in Westchester County, New York. So this program is still viable and active, and it has been so since 1953. We're talking now a lot about, not us, but everybody out there in the world is talking about the economy possibly tipping into recession in coming months. There's talk from President Biden and in Congress, in what I've been reading in the last couple of weeks, continuing pandemic aid. Now, they're talking primarily about things like vaccines, testing, and protocols, and things of that nature. But again, if we can extrapolate into the COVID-19 EIDL program with funds that are being reclaimed by the United States Attorney and the FBI and the OIG in fraud investigations, what are they going to do with that money? So stay tuned, because I am watching that for you, and we will continue to update you here on our YouTube channel, because we desperately want to see those of you who are not approved to receive your monies.
Yeah. And let's go. That's a good segue to go to Braden. I don't know if you're still here, Braden. Let us know in the comment if you're still here, because I'm not really sure. And do you need clarification on
I don't understand the question.
Yeah.
Braden.
Signing a modification, but never receiving an official acceptance letter. Maybe could you rephrase that some way? There's
only one document, Braden, that you would have signed. You would have docu-signed the loan agreement, as I mentioned earlier, with the second date on it. So in other words, you had the original date from 2020 when you got the first loan, and then when they approve the modification, they reissue a new loan agreement, or they reissued the same loan agreement. The same loan agreement with a second date on it, and with the new modified increased loan amount. That's the only document you sign. If you have docu-signed that EIDL loan authorization agreement, or LAA, with your increase amount, then the money's allocated for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And in fact, the SBA will say to you, this is what our client had received just a few weeks before May 16th. They sent him a letter, and they sent an email, and they called him and said, if you don't respond to us within a certain amount of days, we're going to release the funds back into basically back into the Treasury, back into the SBA coffers. So they are actively working on getting these funds into your hands.
But let me just clarify for those who may not be super clear on the process, because the SBA has screwed up so many times with so many aspects of the process. When you have an eligibility amount and your eligibility amount is confirmed and you clicked on that to accept the amount, that doesn't mean you're approved.
Yeah.
So I know here it goes. Let's see. I did sign a new notification on DocuSign. Okay, but
no, it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter if you get the email saying you're approved, because if you signed the new loan agreement, that's the approval.
Yeah.
By the way, Braden, dollars to donuts. Oh man, that's another thing I'm gonna have to buy in Manhattan next week. Hot dogs, pizza, donuts. Oh. Yeah, we've been on a pretty strict new dietary lifestyle for the last 30 days, and kind of jonesing. Anyway,
yeah.
So Braden, if you signed the loan agreement, the money is allocated for you.
I think it's weird that he didn't get an email, because how did you know?
Oh, that's what I was saying before I interrupted myself. Dollars to donuts. Sorry, Braden. Dollars to donuts, Braden. That approval email, it's in your spam folder. I can practically guarantee it. One of our clients is an attorney in a law firm, and we had direct access to the Gmail that was used for the EIDL program, and I had him checking his Gmails, and he would say to me on a daily basis, Trevor, I never got an approval email. No, never got the email. Never got the email. Never got the email. And so I logged in, 10 days later, whatever. And it took me a few minutes, but I found it. It was buried in the spam folder. Gmail had marked it as potentially fraudulent. So, Braden, I would bet dollars to donuts that the SBA email is there. But Zeke, I love this question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be defaults. We said this in one of our shows earlier this year when we were screaming and ranting and raving at and about and to the SBA, saying, especially specifically to Isabella Guzman, saying, because you nincompoops are not getting these loans approved for people who desperately need this increased money, you're literally signing the death sentence on the original loan, because they can't afford to stay in business, because you can't get them the extra money they need. And because they don't have the extra money, the business is going to fail, which means they will default.
Yeah.
Whoa, did somebody?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Say it again, Mike. Hey.
Well, and Daisy's right. Daisy, first of all, your loan agreement says you have up to 24 months to request additional funds. If in your loan agreement, it doesn't say you're guaranteed to get the funds, because I'm sure there's some gray language or something about it requiring to be approved.
Well, Daisy, you're preaching to the choir. Go ahead.
But this is the thing that we are seeing, that we started seeing last year. Would you say it was summer or fall, where the SBA was standing firm and standing on ceremony with late tax returns and amended tax returns? We started seeing that crumbling last fall.
I'm going to address that in a moment, especially because Zeke has a question about it. But let's go back to this about the 2 years. So when we were ranting and raving, we talked about the defaults, but also in many of our previous videos, I've talked about the 2 years, and exactly what you're pointing to, Daisy. Having read the loan agreement. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a loan officer and an underwriter. But having read it as a layperson with a little more knowledge and experience than many of you all, but certainly from a layperson's perspective, if I'm allowed to come back up to 2 years later, then the money has to be there for me.
Yeah.
But one of my best friends is an attorney, and she is the greatest real estate attorney on planet Earth. And was on a chat with her a couple of weeks ago. She actually came for a visit last week, but I was chatting with her a couple of weeks on the phone, and I ran this by her, and she said, and she's from the Bronx, and she goes, Trevor, just because you can apply for more funds up to 2 years does not mean they have to approve you.
Yeah.
I was like, you see, her name is Laura. I said, see, Laura, this is why I both love you as an attorney and hate you as an attorney.
Okay.
So that's an unknown quantity, as Sherlock Holmes would say, Daisy. This remains to be seen. But let's be clear that a lot of the 2 years timelines are running out now. Right? Because people got approved in March, April, May, June of 2020. Yeah. So that 24 months from the original date is expiring now. So
this leads into a nice segue with Al, who says that he has a real business that was constantly denied, and I was unable to get an explanation. So
I'm going to let you answer this. You know how to answer this one.
Well, you may correct me. I will allow that. I give you permission to correct me, because the SBA is basically saying that the program is closed. But this is what I think, as a normal person that is not a loan officer, because that's this guy. So he might chime in here with some other salient points. But what I would say, Al, to you is you should go through how you presented your entire package to the SBA. And I would prepare it to get it in anyway, because
you can't submit it.
You can't, but you can prepare to have the reconsideration for if they have more funding.
We're going to talk about that. I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
But Linda's right. You should prepare. So Al, we've done a gazillion videos on the best way to prepare the loan.
We have a whole
package. Hey, Willie.
We have an entire playlist.
Willie, how do you like the sunglasses?
We have an entire playlist on EIDL reconsideration. If you click on the playlist, that go to the dashboard in our home channel, homepage of the channel, and go to EIDL reconsider. The first few are just checklist videos that are from 2020. Some of them are from 2020. You're going to want to follow those. And we're not really even selling our roadmap to reconsideration, because we do not like people paying money when we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so we won't sell you that. But the information is there, Al, that will show you how to prepare. But I will come back to that shortly. Just let me answer Zeke. Taxpayer pays.
Yeah.
Taxpayer pays on defaults. But that's not just on this program, Zeke. It is, I was a mortgage banker for 30 years, and I specialized in government loans. The Federal Housing Administration and the Veterans Administration, they insure, the FHA, Federal Housing Administration, insures mortgage loans on houses, and the Veterans Administration guarantees payment to the lender on those loans. They have a different name for it. The VA calls it guarantee, the FHA calls it insurance. But either way, these are government agencies, and in the event of a mortgage loan under those programs defaulting, it is, in fact, the taxpayer who covers that loss. But I would like to point out that in all of my years, 30 in the mortgage business, there was never an economic disaster to the extent of COVID-19 with regards to government mortgages. There was an economic disaster with regards to subprime mortgages, as we all know, starting in 2008, 2009, and so forth. And so there was a wave of defaults, but those were not government-insured loans. So the federal government has never experienced a huge wave of defaults on government loan programs, and we will see what transpires in the coming months and years on the COVID-19 EIDL program.
Yeah. And Josh, we have been
preaching to the choir,
very vocal about our utter disdain of the disastrous dysfunction of the SBA. It is a disgrace. How many D words can I get in there? I mean, I can't even believe what they've done to business owners, that it's disgusting to me. They should be, the SBA, we have vocally also said the SBA should be dissolved. They are not doing anybody any favors. The people that got their money, that's awesome, But honestly, there's still the pain and suffering that a lot of them, we saw clients wait for a year. They were crying to us when they finally got approved, those that did.
We had some clients. We're going to pause questions for just a minute so we can actually get into the meat of our material this evening. But that was really for Linda, not for you. But.
Duly noted. Okay.
I forgot what I was saying. Okay. So what I want to talk about is a program that you all, no, I'm sorry. There is one last aspect of EIDL. People have asked us many gazillions of times if the EIDL loan is going to be forgiven. And it is my opinion, professionally, that that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a 30-year loan. But I do, and I have expressed this opinion many times, I do believe that it is entirely possible, especially if we tip into a serious recession, that to avoid a wave of defaults, maybe our Congress actually gets something done. And my opinion is if they were to act on this, they would convert the interest rate from 3.75 to a lower rate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my professional take on what could happen with the EIDL. All righty. But speaking of forgiveness, PPP, if you have not applied for forgiveness for either your first round or your second round PPP loan, it is stupid easy to do. We have several of our clients who have paid us to do it, and I've done multiple applications and approvals last year and again this year. And I'm going to tell you, this year it is much easier to do than it was last year. For those clients, we bring that extra level of scrutiny to their utilization of funds. We don't ever want an auditor to look at our client file askew and have questions about it. We make sure that they're using the funds accurately. So,
I need to jump in here because I want to, again, not the loan officer here at Aurora Consulting, but I do want to say that there's a lot of terminology that we've seen easily confused. Sometimes when we're talking about the EIDL loan, people are talking about the PPP and vice versa. When we're talking about forgiveness, they think, oh, does that mean the EIDL will be forgiven? No. And so there's also the utilization of funds that prompted this thought before it left my head. The utilization of funds applies to both loans. It's just different for the PPP versus EIDL, but there is still scrutiny that needs to be taken seriously on how those funds were dispersed, the loan monies dispersed and utilized.
So here's the PPP forgiveness. It works one of two ways, directly through the SBA portal. So if you go to SBA.gov and you click on PPP forgiveness, you got to scroll down because they've got a whole mishmash. As usual with SBA's lousy communications, you would think there would be a giant red button that says, apply for forgiveness here. It's not there. There's a little sentence and it has the word portal is hyperlinked. So you have to click on portal. You have to create an account.
Link in the chat.
You have to create an account and then search. Once you've created an account, you go through two-party second verification, authentication. Once you log in, then you will be asked to enter your SSN or EIN and the exact dollar amount of your PPP loan. And when I say exact, folks, I mean exact. If you received a PPP loan of $72,337.12, you must enter the exact number. And then once you've done that, it says found the loan, you click on the loan and request forgiveness, click on request forgiveness. All the stuff is basically filled in. They do ask you how you use the money. They ask you how much you used, et cetera, how much you want forgiven. And it's fairly simple application process to do. You get a DocuSign in the end, you complete the DocuSign and it gets submitted. Turnaround time directly through the SBA portal is less than 30 days so far in recent weeks with approvals. Now, there is also the portal where you have to go through your lender. to access. So some lenders have their own dedicated SBA portal, and the only way you can get to that is going through the lender's website. So you should contact your PPP lender and ask them, you know, how do I request forgiveness? And they'll send you the link. And it takes you basically back to the same place that I just described, the SBA portal. But the key element is number of employees, you know, and the other very, very important issue is to make sure that every bit of information that you have to enter exactly matches what was on your original application. Because if it doesn't, recipe for disaster. Okay.
All right.
We talked about all the basic issues. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes. More money. There is more money. There is up to $10 billion heading out. A lot of it has already been not a lot. Some of it has already been allocated, and more of it is coming to every state that applied for it. And as far as we know, most all states did request this program, this money allocation from the United States Treasury. It's a program. Do you want to
the link is in the chat.
So it is the Small Business Credit Initiative, and it will the money. The state has to apply for the money from the U.S. Treasury. The state of Maryland was the first state to submit an application and the first state to be approved. West Virginia was approved. I forget some of the other states, but I'm sure there's substantially more by now. But this money is going directly to the states, and then the state decides how to allocate that fund. Most cases, they're probably going to send that money out to community development funding initiative programs, community banks, minority depository institutions, economic development groups, and other nonprofits that work with small business in their areas. And they will probably focus these funds on underrepresented small business owners, you know, Black, Hispanic, female, veteran, LGBTQ, people who qualify under the Americans with Disabilities Act, things of that nature, underrepresented groups. This is typically what minority deposit institutions, community development funds, and community banks work with. But that doesn't exclude everybody. I mean, the money is out there. So what's Trevor's rule?
Always apply. Always apply.
Wait, hold on.
And please hit.
Always apply.
Please hit that like button. You know, our channel
always apply
has been. It's not the same because there's not as
much. Okay, stop having a panic attack.
I'm not having a panic attack. I just want you guys to hit the like button so YouTube remembers we're still here, because we're still here. We're not going anywhere. We're still going to be broadcasting vital information for small business owners and financing.
Okay, so this U.S. Treasury program is additional assistance for the COVID-19 pandemic to help all of you small businesses survive. So we've sent you the link.
The link is in the chat.
Get on there and find out if your state has been approved, and if you'll see it. I just looked up the state of Connecticut where we live just before the showtime, and it showed that the state of Connecticut had applied. It had been approved. The application was submitted. Funds had been received. Not yet. So you'll know that. Then you want to contact your state authorities to find out how to apply for it, which is why the other day we did a video about how to apply for a commercial financing loan, application fundamentals. In fact, we did 2 videos because we had so much packed in. We didn't want to overwhelm folks. So we broke it up into 2 videos. The first one is talking about how to kind of get ready for it. And then the second video is the actual mechanics of
which has not been published yet. I'm still editing that. But I put.
What did you do all day today?
I did other stuff.
Just talking a lot.
Yeah. Oh, look, Mike's saying the Treasury Department's worth. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Well, Mike, that was a different program, and you are absolutely right, Mike. Because 2 years ago, in our early videos and blogs and conversations with clients back in 2020, I knew about that program, and I was speaking about that a lot. That was the Main Street lending program. And thank you, Mike. Yes, Main Street. And yes, the U.S.
You guys are
Treasury
in sync.
screwed it up big time. But I also want to remind you, it was a different administration in the White House at that time. We have a different administration now. The U.S. Treasury is run by a whole group of different people. And so hopefully this, well, not hopefully, this is already working, Mike. The Treasury has approved these funds. These funds were part of President Biden's American Rescue Plan, which passed. And that was actually, the program has been around for 10 years, but the initiative came through the American Rescue Plan. And the Treasury has already allocated monies to states, to multiple states. I mean, when we decided on this show back 5 days ago, it was either 3 or 4 states at that point that had been approved. Let me check my notes.
Daisy, let me just answer your question, even though I put it in the chat. The stimulus checks were from when the pandemic and lockdown were initiated.
Those are not coming back.
Spring in 2020. That's
not coming back.
That's over.
It's over.
That's over. That was a quick infusion of capital, and
it did its job. It helped to keep the economy thriving and running
for those months.
So, okay, so let's go back to our topic. So the Treasury has Mike has already been allocating the money. And the money goes to the states. So it's the states that are administering how the funds are going to be used. The state of West Virginia has decided, in their infinite COVID-19 economic assistance wisdom, to create a venture capital fund. I'm just going to leave that hanging in midair. I'm not really clear why the state of West Virginia thinks that COVID-19 pandemic affected businesses need venture capital. They need an infusion of capital, which is why the state of Maryland is giving the money to community development lenders and community banks and so forth to get the money out there into the community as loans to get money into your small business. So every state is going to allocate these funds according to their own criteria.
So JAC, I just put a link in the chat that you will want to check out our EIDL reconsideration playlist, which we have outlined numerous videos on how to apply for EIDL loans, for the EIDL funds. Someone had asked this question.
Well, there are no more EIDL funds.
So right now the program is you didn't get to it. You didn't get to it.
I'm going to get to it.
Okay. But what I'm just saying to JAC,
I want to finish the Treasury
first.
There
is no link per se.
There's no link. Okay, so let's go back to the Treasury. The thing about the Treasury program, once the funds are allocated to the states, this is one of those things that floats around out there that you don't know about unless you go looking for it. Put on your Sherlock Holmes cap and get out there and do your detective work. And we've provided you with links so that you can look up your states. And those states do have links in the state page of where you can inquire about the funds. But again, this is why we did these 2 videos on how to apply for commercial financing, because if you want to apply for this money, we want you to use our advice combined with your horrible experiences of working with the SBA over the last 2 years. You've learned a lot, we hope, on how to apply for funds. So many people were caught unawares because they had never applied for business credit in any form, not a business credit card, not a loan for a truck or equipment, or a loan to buy a building, or anything of that nature. So this caught many business owners unawares, and because they had no experience applying for credit, the business owners were partially responsible.
When you say credit, it means a loan.
I mean a loan. What Linda mentioned a few minutes ago about late filings of tax returns, amended tax returns. So many of those late tax returns and amended returns were legitimate, but a lot of them were illegitimate. They were people trying to game the system because they read it on Reddit and they were trying to get more money and scam the SBA. And the SBA caught on to that. But the problem is then that meant the SBA red flagged everybody who had filed an amended or a late tax return. And we had multiple clients who had absolutely valid reasons for having done it. They had CPAs who had filed their returns that way. And you couldn't You couldn't work around the red flags at the SBA. Thank you, Daisy. We love you too. So please take our advice.
Video.
We want you to be prepared this time because there is money out there.
So this is the deal. So Trevor and I started Finance Fridays back September 29. And there are still videos and they're bad.
September
they're kind of bad.
2019.
2019. They're kind of bad. They're like cheesy videos. But nobody watched them because nobody knew about us. Nobody found us. YouTube didn't, jack the algorithm for us. And a lot of the videos we were talking about how to apply for a loan, and a lot of people would have been saved a lot of anguish. So please watch our video on how to apply for a business loan. This is the first of 2-part series. The next one's going to be documents that you need to have at the ready for when you're looking for more for more funding.
Essentially, our videos are teaching you my system of how I put files together. I want to pop up Mike McIsaacs and address that. Then I'm going to segue into preparing in case money comes back to EIDL. So
Okay.
Mike, it did not actually take that long to kick off. So the thing about the COVID-19 EIDL program that most everybody seems to forget is how quickly the United States Congress put this program together under the CARES Act. Even before the CARES Act was passed, which created the PPP program and stimulus checks and unemployment assistance and so forth, even before that, the Congress had instructed the SBA to get it together and get a COVID-19 program. And they implemented that actually in March. I think it was March 16th when it opened originally in 2020. So that is not how the United States government, normally works on major programs, because there are rulemaking requirements as per federal mandate, including testing rules and I mean everything down to the type of font. Thank you. I got one. Way over town, being good to me. Oh, yeah, I got a woman. Okay, one of my favorite Ray Charles songs. But this program, the SBCI, the program, Small Business Credit Initiative under the Treasury, actually has rolled out fairly quickly because the American Rescue Plan was passed, and then they implemented this as a feature of that. So now I want to segue into what happens, and I think JAC, you were asking about the link to apply. So right now the SBA says the program is closed. They have run out of funds.
Oh, this is for the EIDL, not the Treasury.
This is for the EIDL. We're back to the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which is why basically everybody tuned in tonight. We definitely went clickbait. I'm just going to say it. We totally went clickbait.
We don't usually, but tonight we did.
Now everybody's going to start going, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back. The EIDL program is closed for COVID-19. It is still open for natural disasters. We know that the Congress and the Senate and the SBA are talking about, and the OIG's office talking about fraud and recapturing stolen monies. And what are they going to do with that? I don't know. But let's pretend for a minute that they actually will put that money back into the COVID-19 EIDL program and start approving applications. I would imagine they would start approving applications that were left in the queue as of May 16th. But knowing the SBA and the government, can't bet on anything. So here's what our stringent, strong, severe, did I do enough S's? Advice is
super.
Prepare now.
Yeah. Prepare now.
Prepare now.
But how does one prepare?
I'll leave that to you, woman.
Okay.
Because I got a woman way over town being good to me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I did put a link in the chat. I can do it again because if there's a lot of comments that come in, it kind of gets popped up. But we have an entire playlist on EIDL reconsideration, and it starts with older videos that are still germane, that are in the checklist format, including the description of these videos, folks. You got to look at the description. Maybe most videos don't expound in their description. We do. We provide instructions. We provide various chapters, so you know where in the video to look for something specific. So the best way to start for free with our content that we've been doing for 2 years is go to the EIDL reconsideration playlist. Now, this is the main thing I want. Are you guys still with it? Are you still here with me? Let me know if you need to still prepare. Just put prepare in the comments to let me know you need to be prepared. Don't hit me.
I didn't. I was just moving.
There is, and we've talked about this for many, many months. What we've done for our clients, and we did secure over 70 million in disaster funding. We had over 500 loans that we worked on, private clients. We do not know how many other people we helped by watching our videos, but there is a package that you want to put together for the SBA. That list of documents is in the description of the videos that are checklist videos in the EIDL playlist. We're just giving this to you as a gift because we sell product too, but this is what you want to do.
The best analogy I can give to you about preparing this COVID-19 EIDL application package in case they reopen it is to compare it to what they call a go bag. Have you heard of a go bag?
I have not.
So if you live in California where there are earthquakes and wildfires, or other areas where there may be disaster, but a go bag is a bag that in the event that your house catches fire,
you got to go,
or there's an earthquake and you've got to get out of the house now, you can grab this bag and it has money in it, credit cards, it has identification, it has maybe clothing and some snack
documents,
foods, things that you can use. I mean, there's a whole disaster culture out there, but you don't need anything that elaborate, just a basic go bag. So think of this application process that we're telling you to prepare for as your EIDL, COVID-19 EIDL go bag. Mm-hmm. Get ready now, because we don't know if they say it's done, but the economy is very likely to tip into recession.
Yeah.
And we have seen with the recession, 2010, 2012, that recession, we have seen how TARP, what were the other programs? I mean, the government stepped up and rolled out all kinds of programs. It might happen again. And I believe it might be entirely possible they would either allocate funds into this, or if they recapture stolen funds back into the program. So prepare for it. Want to see if there's any questions we can address. I thank a lot of you for the comments and the questions. There are a lot of things here that we can't really answer.
Yeah, like how do we find out so Islandy, Crespo, how do we find out if
there are no additional funds? The program's closed, Crespo.
You just have to keep.
That's why we're telling you now.
And subscribe to our channel, because we'll update you. We're going to be updating. We're not going anywhere.
We stopped taking clients. We stopped processing the loans. That's why I look so relaxed and not stressed out anymore. I actually sleep at night. Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
No, Paul, we're still waiting on my 10K. I was like, oh, so sorry.
Paul. Paul, please be a regular on our shows, because we need that little
Paul,
humorous.
You better hit that subscribe button, buddy. Okay.
This is like Mike, who wants to know if they run a credit report. But this is why we're telling you, folks, create your COVID-19 EIDL application, get all your documents in order in case they reopen it.
We pontificated for many, many months. We were live May, June, July, August of 2020, and nobody watched us. We then did weekly videos on how to apply for an EIDL loan every week for 5 months. Nobody watched us. Finally, YouTube picked us up in around December, January.
You just want to talk about statistics.
I do. I love metrics, but
okay. She came into the office last week. I won't lie. I was watching season 3 of The Expanse on Prime Video for the 4th time.
Don't say it.
I'm a science fiction freak. And
Don't say it.
I was sitting there in my comfy leather chair, just doing nothing, watching that. And she walks in. She goes, Danette! Oh my God! It's Danette! Hello, Danette! Wow! Hello, Danette.
Oh, Danette.
We miss you, Danette.
From Chicago.
Listen, folks, I'm telling you, if you want to know how to run a business, you got to talk to this gal because she is no BS. Danette is no nonsense.
Yeah, we love Danette.
We love you, Danette. We miss you a lot. So I want to just talk about our other channel and where we're going.
Oh, yay, GIB.
Awesome, GIB.
Oh, we love hearing that so much, so much. This has been kind of a passion project. This whole endeavor from March 2020 to May 2022. It was. We were so stressed out. It was so stressed. I mean,
let me just. Can I want to talk about the primary stressor for Linda Ray and myself, apart from crazy people, including not Danette, like some bad clients.
Nobody
and the SBA's
us.
And the SBA's programs.
They don't watch us.
The SBA's nutting. That was stressful enough. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that literally I've only just started to decompress in the last 2 weeks. Linda is a veteran insurance broker, 30 years in the insurance industry. I'm a veteran mortgage banker, 30 years. We are closers. When someone comes to us with a problem, we find a solution. That's what we did in our careers.
Problem solvers.
And for us to have been hitting a brick wall day in and day out, whether you were a client or whether you were here on a YouTube channel asking us for assistance and crying and sharing your tears with us, we felt that pain.
Yeah, the SBA.
And that is the one thing that we really have been working on coming down from in terms of anxiety and stress in just the last 30 days.
You know, when you start, first of all, our business financing business had flushed because of COVID. So we pivoted to start talking about how to apply for the EIDL loan because we had experience with applying for a business loan. And, you know, you don't get into business to go out of business. And that's exactly what happened with us. And it was because of the SBA.
You know, I'm really glad you said that. You don't go into business, get out of business. So where I want to segue next is to tell you where we're going with our business, because someone asked a moment ago, what other services?
But please hit that like button.
And hit the subscribe.
And hit the subscribe if you haven't
subscribed to our Simple Sense channel, which is also a podcast.
Yeah.
You're running a business to run a business, not to go out of business, to use my lovely gal's words. We want to help you with simple advice to run your business more efficiently so that you're not ripping your hair out, so that you are enjoying the experience of being your own boss, generating your own income. Danette, what she does, I can't share it because she's a client and it's confidential, but what this woman does is not just financially helpful to herself as a business owner. She is a very important part of her community. She provides a very necessary community service to people who really need someone like Danette in their lives. And, you know, you can't get that working for a boss.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't. And that's why so many of you started your own businesses. Some of it came out of being a hobby. You went, wait a minute, I can make money at this. Some of it came out of an experience like us, you know, coming out of the financial industry. We started Aurora Consulting to help small businesses. So where we're going is We are no longer doing financing consulting. We are creating content products on multiple platforms, books, videos, podcasts, on every aspect of running a small business. And we call it Simple Sense. So one of the things, Simple Sense podcast that we're working on that we'll be publishing in the next few days is about hiring practices, because we know how difficult it is for folks to hire people. And we're going to introduce you to a concept in that podcast that I call the Trevor method, which I used in my mortgage origination business back in 2013 and 14 and 15 to quadruple my mortgage income, to remove the worry frown from between my eyes, to lose weight. Oh, and to find the love of my life.
Is that me? That's me.
And make my life amazing. The essential element of the Trevor method is screening out prospects. I was a salesperson, right? So I was a mortgage banker looking for people who wanted to buy houses or refinance houses. So it's a funnel that helps you get the best possible prospect. Well, you want to use the same practice in hiring, and the podcast we're about to publish is going to show you how to do that. My final note on that, before asking you, and she's going to post the link to subscribe to that channel, is this.
Already done.
It requires tremendous amount of courage and chutzpah and guts, because you have to say no a lot, especially when you're desperate. You have to say no.
But anyway, we'll save that.
She's kicking me under the table.
Yeah, because
Danette, she's kicking me under the table.
They're dropping like flies. They don't care. They got what they came for. They've already gone. So let's just say thank you to all of you who have hung out with us on a Friday night. Really appreciate it. I don't know where you guys are, but it's what time is it? It's 8:42 p.m. We didn't ask you where you guys are.
Carlos Atola, success story.
Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. We cannot.
We love hearing that.
Never get tired of hearing
Carlos,
that. Please
do subscribe. That's the best way to say thank you. And subscribe to Simple Sense for small business. I don't know about y'all, but
and to hit that like
it's a
button.
Friday night. I'm feeling rather rowdy. I think I'm going to pop open a Diet Fresca.
That's how we lost 10 pounds, not drinking booze. I seriously cannot wait to have some wine.
So we also did we did it. You want to tell them about the blooper reel?
Oh my gosh, I put a link in the chat. You guys, oh my God. We did a 1 minute video. It's not even, it's like 30 seconds. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you. Oh, you guys are so cool. We did a 30-second blooper video. You have to watch it because YouTube is just strangling that.
Thank you, Darlene.
So where is it?
No carbs. It's kind of like that. It's actually the Suzanne Summers program. It's called Summer Size. Suzanne Summers from the TV show Three's Company. It is actually fantastic. Like I serve, and I'm doing a lot of cooking now because I love to cook, and I didn't have time to do that for 2 years because it was helping all of you folks. I did a French gravy with butter. Sauce with butter and shallots and garlic.
Watch this video.
Smothered our
Watch
meal
this
with
video.
it.
Where's my finger? Watch this video right there.
Watch this video.
Right there.
So the bloopers. Our friend Marianne came over for dinner tonight. She actually brought dinner over. She brought over mussels. Oh my God. Mussels marinara.
Yeah.
It was incredible. No pasta though. No carbs. But we showed her the bloopers reel. Now, Marianne's been a good friend of ours for quite a while, and she has gone out drinking with us, so she knows how fun we can be, and sometimes not so much. But we showed her the blooper reel, and after seeing the stupid looks on our face and how we were screwing up doing our own video, I leaned into Marianne and I go, "You see, this is what happens when we stop drinking."
Yeah, so there you go. All right.
Thank you all. Thank you all. We love all of you so much. We really do.
So grateful for you guys, and so grateful for that you stopped in, and thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you for just checking us out, and I can't say enough. So
can we just put the link up again for Daisy for the SBCI?
I'm also going to put it in the description of the video. But yeah, this
And
is
Daisy, I'm not, sure if you've seen our other shows, but what Linda does after one of our live shows is she edits them and breaks it up into smaller videos.
yeah. And so I'm gonna.
But she also takes this video and she timestamps it, and all of the links. This is my girl. This is my marketing goddess girl.
The links
right
will
here.
be in the description. I just have to put them in there. I don't do it before the show because I want people to hang out and have to wait for the goodies.
Love you, Jeanette.
All right.
GAB, you too. Have an amazing weekend.
You.
Josh Thomas, thank you. I never really thought I was all that funny till folks like you told me I was funny. I'm like, wait, I'm funny? Wait, did you mean funny looking?
Yeah.
Mike, it's so great to see you. And
I'm so happy to hear that.
oh, look at JAC.
Awesome.
Bada boom. Success, folks. You see already. JAC proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
Can go to the SSBCI link, found in the state of Arizona, email contact, just be. So JAC, please watch the videos. One is published. The second one's coming up on how to prepare an application. Plus, we do have other content products. We have other guidebooks, IRS 4506T, folks. That is going to be required for any commercial loan you apply for, whether it's this U.S. Treasury Community Development Program or Small Business Initiative Program, or if you go to a bank or a credit union or anything. One quick financing note from us when we were doing commercial financing prior to COVID.
Goodbyes. We have the longest goodbyes.
It's like that. What's that Raymond Chandler story? The long goodbye. Don't ever get an MCA loan, folks.
Oh, God, please.
Don't let those punk kids who are blowing up your phone to give you cash advances on your credit card swipes and no, don't do it. It's horrible.
We did a video on that too. I'm telling you, you guys, you need to aggressively, politely stalk our playlists and our videos that we've done for the last 2 years.
Chad Eckert is here.
Yeah.
Chad approved, funded. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to put my sunglasses on. I'm going to go wild and pop open a Diet Fresca.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Be safe. Be strong. Be healthy. Ciao for now.